So, breaking news: Raw was watchable. That's the weirdest part of the month. After a pretty decent Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, we of course had a celebration for our new reigning, defending, undisputed, forgettable WWE champion. The Miz won it. It's the only thing that fit The Miz because his corporate looks generic and bland, just like Miz's career, but we're not going to talk about the rest of that. He went due to his longevity, bragged about most of his accomplishments, his star power, yet he's never been in a movie that actually launched in theaters. Other than that, at least he feels energetic. At least he feels like realistic, and unlike McIntyre can actually talk. I'll at least agree with that, but people are already like giving this like, oh, Miz finally wins it. Now let's see, like the last few weeks he'll hold it. Like that's how bad he's that generic of a world champion. The Hurt Business of MVP and Lashley. You know, it's kind of odd because I remember watching Impact. Lashley was on crutches. I mean, MVP was on crutches while Lashley was aiming for the world title. He did win it, by the way. Are we seeing a callback to that in the future? There were. The only odd thing is, where was McIntyre? I don't know if he's nursing a sickness, selling the Elimination Chamber match, even though Sheamus and Jeff Hardy wrestled the same night and they were also in the Chamber match. So I'm just over the factor that they're probably trying to book something else, because none of the callback factor into Sheamus or McIntyre's storyline was involved in any of this. It just had a regular match. So I don't know the point. Yet again, WWE makes matches for the sake of wrestling and nothing else. Even though it's 3 hours, so you suspect like there's supposed to be a benefit gained or at least a storyline in every match that you set foot to at least get somebody to do, or you're just doing what you guys are doing with Ricochet, just letting him lose to guys for no reason with no other focus involved, or actually letting him gain a character. You can give a guy a gimmick. So, Lashley gave a condition over to Miz that he'll give an hour until he gives his answer later tonight to actually issue his promise and give him the WWE Championship match like promised after helping him cash in on McIntyre the last night. After time expired, Strowman and Shane came over. Like, why is Shane there? If you want to make Shane the authority figure and leave Adam Pearce on SmackDown because he does more interesting stuff there, and Shane can just issue everybody else in storyline form because he's an actual understandable authority figure because he's a McMahon. I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. You suspect with a lack of crowd, they have to actually have more creative freedom to do whatever they can with authority figures, but that's just my opinion. So it issued later tonight, because I'm not trying to go segment per segment. They issued tonight that if Strowman beats Lashley, it will be a triple threat match next week on Raw for the WWE Championship, with Miz plastering backstage to see what they can do to stop the match from even happening. We also had Riddle. Like, I hate his acting. I think he's because he has a lack of talking in the camera. He's like trying to be the dumbass high surfer dude gimmick while being an MMA fighter. It's like, dude, like totally got that win over in Warzone, bro. Just like trying to behave. He's trying to also talk and plaster around with his eyes closed, like how Americans think how Chinese people talk, and it's just so bad. He comes around with his scooter and going to his match, John Morrison, bro. Like, why is Lucha House Party even there? I don't even know why they're there. They're just a 205 Live jobber top card tag team with no character, the most racially insensitive of most of the group on the roster, and they have the most forgettable storylines. Didn't say that the match was bad, though. John Morrison and Riddle had a good match. decent enziguris, close over to a Shining Wizard, a Brenton. It ended with a really good stop from, I think, a Starship Pain, and for the Bro Derek for the win. Really decent match. I like the chemistry with these two. These guys are like slick and transitional. Don't know how they're gonna build up most of the momentum over Riddle because of his constant losses, unless it's like 6-man tags against Lashley, and Lashley's not focused on the main event scene now. That's good for Lashley, and he's gonna build over to the lower card. But it's just the way they've been portraying like guys that come over NXT, and they have no like cautious way to make them tear up to guys on the main roster. Like, I understand, but it just feels a bit weak-handed. There's not that much I like about Riddle. I feel like he's a weak, atrocious actor with no semblance of over charisma. He comes around talking shit about talking shit to Lesnar and Goldberg, and he can't back it up over with his booking. He doesn't look strong, and he just is so disinteresting over as a character. Unlike Lesnar and Goldberg, these guys look like unbeatable pieces of flesh that are going to kill you with their own bare hands. I don't see that over with Riddle. Hopefully they do something with him later on. Other than that, really good opening match to start off the show. We also had, of course, the New Day versus Retribution. These guys get that voice I was trying to compare. I mean, dude, please, don't call me a racist. Please. So we had New Day just job out the Retribution faction again. And people were like breaking, like, oh my god, Retribution are breaking up. Okay, tell me a storyline that they actually won, other than, I guess, when they were just sexually assaulting Ricochet. These guys suck. Mason, I think it was T-Bar, and you have like two athletic-looking big men jobbing out to men that literally gyrate over for the character. Drop kicks. There was a Northern Light suplex that was easily averted. An easy roll-up. And no, I think it was the double team finisher. Frickin' New Day wins, and yet again, I think it was the midnight hour they call it. They win again. They win again. And Mustafa Ali, like, I don't know what's the potential with this dude. And it's like the only thing is he doesn't lose consistently other than most of the guys. So the benefit is he doesn't get over. He doesn't get any benefit. He is probably going to feud with these guys for the next few weeks. And it's going to go nowhere. They have no storyline factor other than what happened back in 2019. And they didn't even do a storyline on that makes this more overarching than it shouldn't be already, wasting my time on television. Oh, God, it's mad corny. Mustafa just comes around just munching out everybody else on Retribution. Reckoning's back, and that's the only thing that could, because Xavier and Kofi were just joking around on that because she didn't show up for the last few weeks, maybe because of an injury. Oh God, the match was so forgettable. I hate Retribution. I hope they break up and die. Hope they break up and go back to NXT. Yeah. Totally meant that last part. Next up was the Hurt Business against Lucha House Party in a Tornado Tag Team match. And I guess this was supposed to... it was dominant from the start. These guys were actually coexisting. The German suplexes, snap suplexes. So Lucha House Party were trying to build up more momentum. Lumbar check. And into a pay dirt. There's some cool combinations, and MVP was actually proud. These guys didn't get in a skirmish, and they gained themselves a win against a jobber tag team. I don't know if they're going to be building up more because Authors of Pain are out because they're injury prone. Ivar can't compete, so like there's already a lack over with the tag division. It's just so weak. I mean, I don't want the Hurt Business to lose. I just feel like there isn't that much of a legitimate amount of names that they're beating consistently. It's like Spirit Squad. I mean, yeah, they beat the Highlanders, but they also beat DX a few times. So has Lance Cade and Cade Murdoch. You guys remember that tag team? Basically forgettable mid-card tag team from back in the mid-2000s to late 2000s. Yeah, these guys were beating guys at the Hardy Boys on pay-per-view. I was like, you suspect at least something out of, more with a brand split. You get at least some semblance of teams. We had a backstage segment involving freaking Bad Bunny and Damian Priest with preventing R-Truth trying to cash in. I mean, trying to get a ref to pin Bad Bunny. Damian Priest all already in the lookout, calling over his match with Angel Garza. The commentary was so goddamn bland. Going over no history out of Angel Garza, why Damian Priest is here. They were just going over the mantra of what else was happening in the show, and it was just so bland, bro. And it's not like the match was terrible. It's just I already know what was going to happen. Damian Priest was going to win. This was like their second match, so nothing about this felt special to actually make Damian Priest look more threatening. There was a pimp slap again off Bad Bunny. Big boot, rip off, cut. Oh, I forgot. Rip off Cody Rhodes finisher. Rip off Crossroads. There was a Falcon Arrow he did that got the near fall. Angel Garza just got like barely a lick of offense in until like the middle of the match. And it was called the Broken Arrow. Ha! It ended up with Priest winning. Just a borderline waste of time, over 10-minute squash match with no story. Garza's just doing nothing except jobbing out. This brand split needs to end, man. Because we're just going to see the same repeatable matches with no semblance of a story focus. And it just feels like Asuka as well, sorry for the transition, but it just feels like we're getting afterthoughts of characters that obviously should be getting more attention. And it's not focusing anywhere. Like, I don't want to see Baszler and Nia Jax continue to face the same people. I don't want to see Damian Priest face off against the same person. The only change of matches that we usually get is sometimes the main eventers, but the mid-carders just suffer off most of this. So we had Asuka and Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. God, I'm about to tear into this one. So, the match was okay. We had some back and forth, selling over the arm, a good leg submission over the shoulder, torture submission from Shayna that doesn't focus around anything else. A double suplex was averted by Charlotte, countered into a powerbomb. There was some miscommunication in the air. Baszler came around and kicking Charlotte over in the face. And accidentally hits Asuka. Jax hits a leg drop to win the match. I felt it was dragged out. Really discompelling to tell the story. I don't know why they even tagged still. Even though Charlotte said that she would get the benefit of getting a title shot. Well, that wasn't even primordial focus since the Lacey Evans storyline even happened. Asuka is such a goddamn afterthought. Nobody would even ask if the title was vacant right now. And then they go over backstage to do the same thing they've been doing for the last 5 years. And it's that Charlotte has a complex over being overshadowed by her father's legacy. And then the whole Lacey Evans thing was completely ignored over the semblance of, I just want to be Charlotte Flair, not Ric Flair's daughter. We fucking know. It just makes no goddamn sense now. Other than, I guess Ric Flair's doing this for the attention. Oh, God, it's just dumb. If they want, just write off Ric Flair out the show. Hell, make him an authority figure. What's wrong with authority figures? I don't get that. It just brings, a sign of order and at least some logic over in the damn show than people just calling out their own dumbass matches for some apparent reason. I'm sorry? Who the fuck made you in charge, Ricochet? Didn't you lose to Retribution 17 times? Why you want me in a no-holds-barred match? Gay. It's just gay. I don't get it. There's been a few good matches, but some just made very little sense. I don't really give a damn about the whole Charlotte thing, having a problem with her dad. It's just so discompelling. This was obviously one of the weaker parts of the show. We also had a callback from, the PP storyline with Sheamus and Jeff Hardy from last summer back on SmackDown. That was like one of the worst things about last year. Calling back over his drug problems. This time it's not even a reason why they're wrestling each other now, after they should be selling their injuries after what's supposed to be the most demonic structure for more than 2 men. I just hate how WWE does it. You see how they make gimmick matches don't even feel like gimmick matches if they can't sell the injuries going on in it? Oh God. Am I almost finished? Oh no, I'm not. Let's continue with this great review. Alright. The match was okay. I'll give it that. It's better than the matches I saw back then when they were on SmackDown, other than that match they had against each other at Backlash. He went for that bicycle knee that always gets the near fall. Whisper in the winds. There was a sell over to the knee, even though it makes no sense. I don't know why Jeff Hardy be called a charismatic enigma, even though he always calls over to people that dress up in Hot Topic. Just saying. I love Jeff Hardy. The dude, there better be a real claim why you're charismatic, other than creatures. And I'm getting bullied by shit like, dude, I really hate this. Like, some of these guys cannot talk, and yet they have the biggest fan support, like Braun Strowman. Like, he comes around, whining around while he doesn't get a title shot, and it just feels so freaking archaically annoying. Like, how did you beat Goldberg last year? Recover. There was a bro kick for the win. There was a decent counter into a pendulum drop kick. Twist of Fate was averted. The match was okay, but forgettable. There was no reason why these guys had the match. It's not like, oh, they get a future U.S. title opportunity, they get a future anything, or a reason why they're feuding, or at least, hell, you can do the cheap part and at least have a backstage fight to at least continue a story. I don't even know why they wrestle. WWE lacks to do this, and they have 3 hours of time with a double-digit writers. Come on, man. It's I'm gonna have good wrestling matches, and yes, that should be a nice thing, but that should be a bonus. That should also be engulfed in why these men are even fighting. We also had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke against Naomi and Lana. This was back in the day, toilet break matches. So it's current toilet break matches. This was a 3-minute match. I'm not lying. This was a 3-minute match. There was a face breaker. There was a face breaker. Lana was doing a back and forth, but Dana and Mandy would just keep dominating over the corner. Nothing would happen until Mandy got taken out the match, and they had a double face breaker. That was the match. That was the full match. I'm being really serious. And guess what? There was no story involved. Why are Naomi and Lana friends? No reason. Why are two babyface teams wrestling each other for no future tag title shot? No reason. There was just a women's tag for a women's tag. Oh, but people were like, oh, we should continue this brand split. It's going to do a lot to expand. I don't want to see Lana wrestling consistently. She's not a wrestler. She's not a good one. At the most. She's a good model. She's a good crossover act. She's attractive. She has a decent social media following, and people are going to watch her because she seems like a compelling actress and talker. She's a manager. Naomi sucks. I don't care how you like that ass, but she sucks. She sucks. Nobody can name a good move she has, other than probably most of the men wants to be on her finisher. And she has the most annoying entrance. I'm a man, yay, yay, yay. I get a lot of heat for this, and I don't care. I'm a man, yay, yay. You can't tell me you bumped that and you're saying that her entrance is good. At all. No one likes. I don't like Naomi's entrance. It sucks. Dude, I've seen good entrances in my life, and I've seen ones that were freaking agitating. Naomi has like the freaking Yoshitatsu entrance from back in the day. You know how racially insensitive that crap was? And they had Yoshitatsu waving his hand like, "Hi, Japan." WWE #1, like freaking Funaki levels of disrespectful to a culture. Naomi's just disrespectful to my intelligence, and this match was bad. Like, none of these women deserve to be on television thanks to that. We also had Ricochet against AJ Styles. Was yet again another good match against these guys, but why are they wrestling each other? Styles was just coming after like having the biggest advantage over with Amos until he got ejected from assisting AJ. We didn't even get a callback. Like, oh, Styles is suspended. Like, do something if you're trying to make a big dude. Like, why isn't he part of the world title match? Why aren't guys that are getting world title matches staying in the focus of the main event? Why don't they do this? I don't want to see these guys digress back over to mid-card. That's the point that's the problem with sometimes WWE's writing. We had a great match. I won't like take anything away. Cool Enziguri. I like the transitioning around Styles. He even tried to do that that rebound off the top rope into the Styles Clash, but it like collapsed sloppily. They didn't even feel like, oh, I think the plan was for Ricochet to reverse it into Hurricane Rana, learning from his mistakes, but it got botched and he fell out. 6 Verdi got averted into a Styles Clash. Styles won. There was no back and forth here. Ricochet's just gonna be in mid-card purgatory. That's how we call it, folks. That's how, like, the Charlotte Hornets, right? I mean, the Detroit Pistons. Like, they're not the worst team, but they're not the bad team, but they're always gonna stay down the slope of, oh, they'll be there for a chance, but they're not gonna really win it. That's how it is. So nothing happened. We had our main event of the evening. That will be Braun Strowman against Bobby Lashley for a shot. If Strowman wins, he gets a match against a triple threat match involving Lashley and Miz next week on Raw. In the main event. And this is a callback. I actually was entertained in some of Lashley and Strowman matches because it ended up with a spear to the stage with Corey Graves saying, "Holy shit!" And you would think like a run-in or something, like possibly like more. Miz doesn't want to cost like more numbers lessening his chances. He didn't interfere in Strowman getting less of a chance. They didn't try to at least book it into a wall with making it be like a dusty finish. Or hell, McIntyre coming in. Oh, by the way, Randy spitted black blood. I wish I had something else to say, but it's just boring. I don't really care about the whole Alexa Bliss and Randy storyline. Yeah, so we had it's like the last 8 minutes left over in the show, so I know it's going to be short-lived. All I'm going to tell you was there was a cool back and forth. Good strike-to-strike clothesline. Lashley obviously had the disadvantage due to mass. But over a huge little one-arm power slam, and then he gained over momentum off the ropes and hit him with a spear so hard. There was a power slam later before in the match, but he kicked out. Lashley did hit that huge spear involving like him to hit the ropes twice, hitting him with that spear over that momentum boost. And Strowman was like in the last second, could barely kick out for the 3 count. So that's the finish. Lashley then attacks Miz, gets him in the Hurt Lock, hoists the world title for a future thing to come. I'll say that the show is decent enough to at least show, like, oh, okay, Miz is over in the corner, decent talking coward champion. At least he can do something Rollins couldn't do back in 2017. 2015 when he was world champion, and he can talk. He actually sounds more compelled to hold the title. And it just felt... And he just felt like more interesting. Yeah, I talked crap about him over my Elimination Chamber review, but Miz isn't that bad as I always thought. But yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be short lived. I don't care about the Orton feud. Sorry, this review is a bit longer than expected, but oh, dude, it's 3 hours. You give me a break. The pay-per-view was shorter than this, and plus they just had matches over matches, and people saying that the show wasn't that bad. I'm just saying that it was not bad, but it could have done way better than intended by. Where the hell was Elias? Why aren't we getting more extensified storylines? And you have all this talent. You have so many guys that you guys won about. They have too many guys on the roster, yet they're not pushing them over on television to at least do something with. And you have so many writers, you don't get them anything to do. It's really sublimated into inconsistency and sloppiness, and nobody's actually paying attention. But that's all I can say. Before I get another aneurysm, that's all I have here on the DST show. Thanks for watching. Get ready for another crappy Fastlane pay-per-view that I wish they had to cut off. But thanks, Peacock. Be lucky I like Vince McMahon. Other than that, that's it coming from the DST show. Like, comment, and subscribe. We are near 40. If we can get to 40, we can get to 50. And then the rest. I hope you can really count. Other than that, that's it from the show. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day.